Yeah. Hey, so greetings. Welcome to the past podcast with my special guest. Today we're definitely doing live coding session. We're going to talk about topics in tech while I do live coding session. So where we left off is Chat GPT. Yeah. So, Chat GPT is taking jobs. That's it. It's going to take the job within the next year. I've started trying to do car rentals because I'm like, Chat GPT will take my job. There's like no doubt about it. Like I was speaking with my coworkers today, and they were like, yeah, it was like they were like 50-50. I think they said Chat GPT is going to create new jobs, right? So now I have to learn a whole new stack, right? That's the question. Yeah, but no, Chat GPT will take jobs like next year. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that ChatGPT is good to like help you with. I think it's a great supplement, right? But I don't think it's quite there yet where it can replace real engineers. So like let me give you an example. I was working on a issue with my Next.js app I was creating. And so I wanted to say, I said, well, this has been a head scratcher for me. So I went into Chat GPT and tried to see if it could help me resolve the issue. So, I put the error in there. I asked it some very specific questions about it. And it gave me some very general knowledge about like get static props and like, get static paths and what was happening in the code that I had pasted and whatnot. And so I talked to it some more, and it was surprisingly, uh, responsive, almost like I was talking to somebody, almost. But the responses that it gave me, you really have to like guide it to give you real specific answers for what you're looking for. But yeah, I mean, in the end, did it help me? I mean, it didn't really help me solve that issue. But on the flip side, I also tested it out. Right, I put in like an algorithm in there, and I asked it to generate this algorithm and an answer for it in JS, and it did. And then I asked for it to explain like why it the answer was the answer that it gave, why it chose to solve it the way it did, and it was able to respond that way. But like if you like you're not gonna go into a company, right? Because ChatGPT, like it doesn't have access to these companies. You're not, their code bases. It has access to like open source code, so it's able to like train off of that, but it can't train off of stuff that you're doing at an actual company. So I think that like you would have to have something where, in order for ChatGPT to for you to even slightly worry about it, you would have to have something that you could literally like download all of your repo files to, then have it be able to like read everything that's in there, understand it, and then have it be able to like write code out. But then you'd have to give it all these requirements and stuff, and then if it can intuit that and then just write the code for whatever the requirements are is, then you might maybe then. But even then, sometimes it writes stuff that's wrong. It's like, oh well, you did it this way, but it could have been done better this way. Or sometimes it'll just give you wrong answers to things. So I think that it's a great thing. Like I plan on using it heavily. In fact, there's an app that I was planning on building that I had already thought to use OpenAI's API for, but that ChatGPT is going to make a lot easier for me to make. Um, but I'm not worried about it taking my job anytime soon. I think that's several years off. I mean,
Nah,
more.
dude, it was it, dude. Like the jump from Copilot to Krakow, man, to Chat GPT, serious jump, man. Because Copilot can't build an app, and Chat GPT can. Like yeah, like this third and only step is okay. Build the app according to the project to the agile to the whole agile backlog, and that's it. It's not too far off. Like it'll do it. Like yeah, like I think what happens is that mistakes will happen. Like the reason why we're going to have our jobs is that mistakes will happen, and then like the bot. Uh, yeah, I mean mistakes will happen, but if it could build an app, if you could talk to it, and it talks back, right? That's sentience, right? So there's going to be a point of learning, right, where it doesn't need patterns, it doesn't need to be fed information, right, to try and do something, right? It's going to know enough, right? It's like build a function that returns in number one, and then the business requirement just says build a function that returns to number two, right? It knows how to build a function. All it needs to do, like business requirements, are just parameters to a function, right? If it knows how to build the function, then yeah, that's it. Parameters. That's it. You know, I mean, I definitely feel like like our job will probably be okay. How do you talk to Chat GPT to make an app, right? Because at the end of the day, like people, like your regular average person, they think you could create. They think you could pay $15 to create a production grade website. So they're not going to ask the right questions to Chat GPT.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
They're not even gonna know what to ask Chat GPT to be like, okay, like this I want the API. Like people don't even know what an API is, or like the terminology. They're going to get it so wrong. I've worked with founders that just don't know what they're talking about. They think they know, and they don't know, and they don't know. And
right.
Chat GPT's probably, yeah. Or you're saying something? Sorry.
No, I said right. I agree with that. Like a lot of people don't know, you know. Uh, I think that I was listening to this YouTube video, and the guy said something that I agree with. Like we were kind of like in the information age, but now we're making this like transition out of the information age into the knowledge age, where we have all this data, but now we need to, in a sense, have tools that can help us make sense of it and utilize it in practical ways. So I think that ChatGPT is like it's a great step in the right direction. Um, yeah, I definitely believe so. Uh, but I think, how long have you been in the industry?
I've been 4 years. But
4 years.
before you
Okay.
continue, help me out here, cause dude, I'm trying to get. So this is the production build, and
Yeah.
Mapbox GL's not working, and it's basically saying I gotta do something with I gotta use Babel. So have you heard of Krakow?
No, I haven't used that. I haven't
So
used Craco.
no, this is just
What is that?
Webpack. So it's
Yeah.
basically just Webpack, and I'm having trouble figuring it out.
Okay.
So where do I put this use object on Webpack?
Let's see here. Go back to the. Go back to that. Let me see here. No. Go back to the documentation. Let's see. I also configure this. I think they're saying that you need to be in this webpack.config.js file.
No, you don't have that. We don't. No, it's Krakow, right? So Krakow extends it. Yeah, yeah, Krakow extends it, right? But and then maybe I could look in the no modules webpack. Yeah, maybe I should just do that because I know React is using the webpack. I'm not sure
Yeah.
in Next.js if you have access to the webpack in the project root, but in the no mod, like we don't see that in React.
Yeah, that's why I've not used Craco. This is my first time seeing that.
Yeah. So webpack, I think webpack no. I don't know where webpack is. Lib, no.
Let's see, what is this? Craco npm
Where is the webpack?
create React app configuration override. Oh, you guys override the core React configuration with
Yeah, but
this?
I don't know where it is, so I could see. Maybe I need the TypeScript file
Uh,
so I could know the types. Let's try to see
fine,
if this is
config doc,
types.
you know,
Greatcookit.com. No, no.
get all.
Okay, let me see if this
So
is
you
type.
have your craco.config.js file in the root, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then and
EX. Okay, so it's complaining about it. Yeah, so
okay, I see that from what I'm seeing right now, looks like in this Craco config file, you have your node modules, then you have your craco.config.js. Then in there, in the package.json, you already edited all the scripts in there.
uh yeah.
Okay. Okay, you got all that. So what specifically are you trying to do right now?
Right, I'll try to the Mapbox, right? So Mapbox is basically not showing up in production because of compilation, right? So maybe the third party map a library which is Mapbox can't compile with what the current compilation is using right now. So it's throwing an error and my Mapbox is not coming. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's basically telling me that I have to use the Babel loader. Maybe I have to do npm install Babel.
Yeah, you should have Babel
Wait, is this like this is like a
here.
peer? Oh, it's not a peer. Let me see if it's in the package lock. If it's in package lock, that means it's installed, right? So I see Babel a lot. Yeah, so I see Babel, but
Yeah, you should have plenty of references in Babel in your package lot. Um, so I don't think not having it is the issue. Let me look at this Mapbox thing because I don't know what that is. It sounds like it's an API for allowing you to be able to like use maps, kind of like
yeah,
Google Maps or
yeah.
something like that. Oh yeah. So let's see. Mapbox -gl npm Mapbox GL. Okay. License. Uh, that didn't really. This doesn't really tell me much. All right. Let's see. Getting started. Installation. And you installed it, correct? Right?
What installed? What?
Mapbox. That you using this Mapbox GLJS.
10 p.m. install. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did I close it?
Uh,
Why did it go here? Yeah.
and you guys have the script and link tags for this,
So no install.
right? But you're supposed to install it, but then you're also supposed to you have the script tag for it, right?
No, it's import.
Okay, you got it imported.
So
Use browser
Python.
as explicitly load targeting transpile to ESD.
So I say localhost port.
Yeah.
So fast enough to figure it out.
You can also configure workload essentially.
Oh, it's all good.
So it says you can configure the worker loader essentially in the Webpack config.js. And then you have to integrate the Webpack loaded worker with Macbox with the import. Did you
What's the
configure it in
import?
the Webpack config? Yeah, in the installation, if you go all the way down, it says that right there.
Where the installation?
No. All the way down, right before the or, right after the or. You can also configure worker load essentially in webpack.config.js, and then it says integrate the Webpack loaded worker with Mapbox. Did you do this?
Nah.
Okay. This might be something you want to do if you're because you said you used the import method, or did you do this one right here, loading and transpiling the worker web worker separately? Which way did you try to use this?
No, I try to just do this. I try to use
And
ignore.
also configure this centrally in Webpack.js by adding the ignore option to Babel.
Yeah, I tried that. Let's not figure it. I don't think it's figured it out.
Yeah, try using it the other way with the Webpack, the other one, by configuring it with the worker logo essentially in the Webpack config. Try that way. See if that works.
Yeah, that there's like the bank symbol. This is or. Alright, so I'll try to write it like that. Is it running? Four. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I just wanna it looks like I have to deploy this. Unfortunately. Alright, it's fine.
Did you ever get it to render? And
Yeah.
you
Yeah. I
did?
got it's rendering, but the map is not.
I mean, did you ever get the map to render when you were developing?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just is that website that you showed me production?
No, it's preview.
That's just a preview. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Did you guys? Are you specific? Why did you choose MapGL? Was there specific um, was there something specific about it that you needed, or?
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's free. So yeah, that you know, with all things, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. Um, Let me see, because I normally use Leaflet. Let me see if
Oh,
that.
leaflet. Yeah, I heard of that. Yeah, I remember that. proper transpilation by Babel. It's like I have to override Babel, but not, it's not nearly. Yeah, I try to push. I'm not too sure what's going on. I think all right. I'm gonna look up online because the documentation's not indicating like it's like to use React you have to really know Webpack. Like I gotta go take a course in it, you know.
Well, yeah, especially if you're going to be reconfiguring it and the ways that you guys are.
Yeah, see, I don't see none of this in Angular, dude. In Angular, I never saw Webpack a day in my life. Never saw it.
I'm curious though, like, in what ways did you guys need to reconfigure React for to work with your project? Is it just that you need to do that for the? I've never done blockchain development, so I'm not sure.
What is that?
I said, why did you guys need to like modify the React configuration for this application? Was it
No, we're
specifically
not.
because
No,
of its
no.
blockchain?
I don't want to. I think no, just because Knockbox GL is telling us to, right? But no, I think you sound like you never configure, you never touch Webpack and React, but I think that's commonplace that people go into Webpack all the time with React.
No,
But
no.
I don't think
You
I
can
want
go
that.
into configure Webpack, but I was just wondering. I don't know what configurations you guys made, so I was just wondering, like,
Yeah, so this is
what do
for
you?
for Material UI SVG, right? According to the instructions, like I prefer not to be in here, but according to the instructions of these third-party libraries, we're doing them. Like Material UI is just a component library.
Oh, okay, I see what you got. You guys are trying. You were trying to get up and running. So, are you doing this for like a client, or is this like your own? Are you guys partnering on like a startup or something?
Yeah, it's a startup. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Right. So I think what I have to do is I have to silence the error. Right. So I think it could. I need to silence the error. Okay. Yeah. Now that's
So,
silenced. Yeah.
so you
So
be so you got your stream up and you just be working on your startups, just coding live, having conversations essentially.
yeah, try to try to add people to the project and that. All right. Yeah, it's figured out. All right. So that should work. Yeah, it should do the trick. I was wondering. Yeah, man. So right. That's the goal. Like striking conversations, try to make connections. Like ultimately, I want to help out beginners, but I think for the I think I'm attracting like even though it's for beginners, like I'm attracting. I am attracting more of the senior developers for some reason. Like like your 4 years, I attracted a guy had 18 years. I attracted a lady 20 years, and they're becoming my mentors. So it's really cool.
Well, I think that most people in the where you like where you post this, it might be fair to say that a lot of people in there are not like beginner. You know what I mean?
A lot of people are though.
Are they
Yeah,
in there? Are they okay?
yeah. I think they are. They're just they're like they don't say anything, but like the type of a post attract a different crowd, right? So
Maybe
yeah.
they're more so there because that's more of a like for algorithms and this
Oh yeah, that
stuff.
yeah,
So they're just
right. Yeah,
so
you're
there,
right.
you know.
That those type of posts attract beginners because they don't know what they don't, and it's surprising. It's become the status quo. Like this data structures and algorithms. That's the interview part, and this is like all these beginners know. And when it comes to building the application, they actually don't know. That's how bad it's gotten. That they could figure out they could build an algorithm, they could pass, but it's like they can't even pass the algorithm because they haven't even built an application, they don't even know their design patterns, right? So that's why it's so difficult. But that's why they keep because they don't know that this is what they think coding is, but that's what it's not, right? So there's like a status quo. picture out there, right? So, but and I'm saying live coding sessions, and none of these beginners are joining because they think, oh, it's all about DSA, DSA, DSA. So,
I mean, it depends on what they're aiming for. You know, if they want to
well,
work
well,
at
they,
Meta or Google, then
well, they're not gonna
they're
make
not going
like
to get into Meta anytime soon with 11,000 people losing their jobs. But you know what I mean? Like if they're trying to get into Google or Amazon or one of the big tech firms, they're going to need to know those algorithm data structures to get past the initial interview. But like you're saying, it's not that. When you get on the job, it's more so like with the stuff like you're doing right now. You know?
yeah, but no, they. I mean, what you actually the thing is, well, once you get on the job, they take care of you. You're taken care of. Like they just the management, unless HR micromanages you, like that, then you're taken care of. Like the tech lead on the job, like the tech lead is out and about. They're doing also. They're in meetings. They're production. They're trying to make sure the production. They don't have time to try to interview you more, and because it takes a lot of money to get someone on, right? So if this person passes the initial interview, knows how to talk, right? Then once they're in, they're gonna get the help of the team, and they're going to get the help of the lead because they're going to want to make it work, right? Because it's a lot of money, and it'll look foolish if you just get rid of someone. So, yeah, that's the thing. But like, like when I think about it, it's like you don't have to know your DSA, right? There's a whole industry out there, right? The financial world that I'm in, and they hire one shot interview. That's it. Like they think like Fang is the only way into tech.
Yeah, I agree. No, a lot of people have that misconception. And Fang is not the only way into tech. You're right. You can get into a lot of smaller firms or like other big corporations that do use tech but aren't heavy on the algorithm data structure portion and get a ton of wealth of experience and make a lot of money. You can do that too. The thing is, people want to get into Google not just for the pay, but they want to get in there for the prestige of it, right? Because having Google on your resume is like saying you graduated from Harvard almost for tech, right? Google is like the Harvard of tech, right? So if I see Google on your resume as a recruiter, internal or external, I'm going to take note of that. If I see Meta or Amazon engineer, software engineer on your resume, that gives you a lot of clout in the industry because it's kind of like, oh, well, you had to, though it's very difficult to pass those interviews. And if you were able to pass that interview and work there for any amount of time, that means in a lot of people's eyes that you're a legitimate software engineer. And there is a lot of prestige that comes with that, but just because you work with those companies.
Yeah, but I could get prestige working with big banks, right? Or big players in other industries, right? It's like, but because there's such a low demand in software development. People like what you realize what's like software developers. Like I worked with a developer, they don't know CSS, they don't. And they've been in it for years, and and they're not the best, and they're like, talent is like such in demand, like so much so that like, hey, you got any experience, right? That like that's the prestige, right? Like, cause for them, like you get, cause yeah, I mean, when I think about it, like maybe I'm not experiencing it, cause like here in the Angular world, right, life is great. Um, like maybe because there are not too many Angular developers, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I think in React it's like, but I think there's just like a lot of status quo people that that it's yeah, because we're right, because like I think for the status quo, right, um, if you have Google on the resume, right, but I think what it is, the status quo is becoming the real world, right? Because if yes, you have Google on the resume, there's like an industry, there's like a whole part of the tech industry that's hiring, right? They don't advertise themselves like Fang, but it's still there. But yeah, but I think if you know certain technology, the status quo technologies I call it, then right, then you want Google on the resume because there's competition, right? But if you don't have the status quo tech, you have additional technologies, many technologies like me, then it's like, then right, that's the real software world. It's like, okay,
Yeah, I hear it.
I
Like
have to do
so,
that.
like if you and I get what you're saying. So let me ask you: do you think that, let's say you work for, I don't know, Wells Fargo, uh, as a software engineer in one of their departments, finance departments, whatever. Let's say you have two engineers, roughly 4 or 5 years of work experience. One engineer's been at Wells Fargo, and the other's been at Google or Amazon, right? Which one do you think, in the eyes of the market, has more prestige or has more clout, I guess, as an engineer?
Oh yeah, the one from Amazon, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So that's why a lot of people are going, going for it. I'm a part of a Discord server where um, one of the guys that was in there, he spent the better part of like 2 years so he could pass an Amazon interview, and he did pass it, and now he's working at Amazon.
And he didn't pass it, and he's still working there.
No, he did.
Okay.
He did. Yeah, he spent 2 years studying algorithm data structures and did tons of leak code problems. You know, cracking the coding interview, all that stuff, right? And he ended up getting that job. Now, 2 years is a lot. He was working in the industry too, right? Like he had got himself proficient enough to where he could work as an engineer, but he was like all his time or a lot of his time outside of work was spent so that he could pass that interview, and he ended up passing. So, uh, yeah, man, a lot of people now with the state of the market that it is right now, you know, you're probably not getting a job at Amazon, yeah, or Google or Meta or any of these places anytime soon. Um, but people are going to gravitate to like what makes them look the best, right? And what gives them the most sense of accomplishment. So, yeah, I got plenty of friends that are, trying to get into Fang. Heck, I was myself. I spent a lot of time this year studying for that, and I had interviews with Facebook and Google this year. Um, I'm glad I didn't pursue that because I'd probably be unemployed right now. But yeah, I talked to Facebook, Amazon. I had an interview with Facebook. I was just about to do my interview with Google, my second, and I decided not to. And then I was talking to Amazon, and I'm just glad that I didn't like follow through with that because I could have been on a chopping block, especially as a new hire.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
not worth it.
but you know that doesn't mean that I wouldn't take that opportunity in the future. But I'm not sure. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like will those companies maintain their prestige? I don't know about Meta because yeah, I'm not sure. I
Well,
don't know.
Meta's working on VR, so maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to be a real thing,
Yeah,
right?
they
So you could feel your environment, right? It's not one thing to be in it, but if you can actually feel your environment, it's like the real world, right? It's going to be really, really interesting.
yeah, it's we'll see. But a lot of people uh yeah, I think that I think like what you were talking about earlier with AI, think that maybe in the next decade or so, we'll probably see a shift where a lot of it's going to go towards like people working behind the scenes, creating like these AI modeling platforms, or I don't know. We'll see. Um, it's crazy to see how the because like Web 3, I thought Web 3 is going to take off, but then here's the problem with like Web 3, from like it hasn't demonstrated the ability to really like solve real world problems that can't be solved in Web 2.
No, yes, it can. Supply chain app.
Yeah, like Bitcoin was very innovative. Ethereum is too, rightfully so. But like when I think about it, what okay, it sounds like you're like into Web 3 as well, and specifically to like the application side. So can you name any? I'm genuinely curious. Like, have you come across any DApps that are able to solve real world problems that you just can't do in Web 2?
No, I have not.
Okay. I think that's the issue with Web 3 right now. I think that is the main issue with it. Is
Actually,
that-
screw that. No, no. So, well. Okay, well. Actually, wait. Let's rewind. Let's rewind. Right. So, no, not applications, but the ATM machines. Right. You're starting to see Bitcoin ATM machines. Right.
oh yeah,
What does that
Bitcoin
mean?
itself. Yeah.
That means you go to another country, right? The value of the Bitcoin is still the value of the Bitcoin, and
Right.
your value converted to your home currency is still the same value. You don't like lose or gain money, right? It's not taxes that you pay, right? So, right, Bitcoin. So Web3 applications would take taxes out the situation. Well, I haven't seen one yet, but that's what essentially it's doing. It's taking taxes out of the equation from conversion from one fiat to another. So, but I haven't seen. But no, I don't know enough about Web 3 to it's not figuring it out. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know enough.
Yeah. The like Bitcoin itself was very innovative. It was like revolutionary. But like the underlying technology behind it is innovative, obviously, because that's what powers it. But aside from Bitcoin and maybe like Ethereum, like when you look at a lot of these other altcoins, like what are they actually doing um, that solve real world problems that we can't do in Web 2 right now? And I think that's the main issue. So once we can, once we can like really utilize Web 3 to its full potential, such that it's able to help us solve issues that Web 2 just can't, I think that that's when it'll sort of take off. But we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. That no, that's not the point of Web 3. The point of Web 3 is to decentralize, right? But you don't need decentralization, right? It's just a convenience.
Right, you're supposed to. Yeah, right. It's supposed to be decentralized, but it hasn't really been shaken out that way with a lot of with the way that the crypto markets have been shaken out, and like a lot of the underlying like tech firms that are coming up with these altcoins and all the stuff that they're doing behind the scenes. It hasn't really. It's been very much centralized in a lot of like aspects, um, and so that like that's yeah. It's interesting. We'll see what happens with it. I guess in the next couple years or so, but I mean, I think right now Yeah, I can't. I think of. I can think of some like ideas for Web3 apps or Web3 use cases, but those can also be done in Web2. So yeah, well, how do you how do you make it truly decentralized? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know. I mean, I guess like, I mean, I don't definitely try to get into the weeds like that. You know, I'm not a Bitcoin enthusiast. I'm just this is a blockchain application with a great idea, right? To use the blockchain. But I'm not really a full stack enthusiast, right? So I'm really you get to know me. I'm really talking more about right applications and best practices and project structure, right? Because my
yeah.
goal, right, in life is like a template, right? To give out like a template that people could use, right, to build applications quickly, right? So basically, when you start up the next app, right, it's empty. It's empty, right? So I don't want it to be empty. Like what I would like is like it'll be full like of examples such as authentication. I think Svelte has this where it has all these different examples, right? And then it's like the app is already ready to use and you can configure it, right? So I think Svelte Kit Playgrounds. So basically, I want to do something like this.
Have you have you built anything in Svelte?
Yeah, no, I'm not really. Dude, I really don't, cause it's like, yeah, I don't like. I'm not trying to learn the same thing 3 times. Like I think, I wouldn't. I wouldn't like all these different frameworks. It's wild, man. So it's like I just want to learn what I have to learn, like and do something else. Like I'm supposed to be taking a course for my job, and they're like, oh, looking at Svelte, but yeah, but like Svelte, I lost it, but yeah, Svelte has like this playground. And,
Yeah, if there's that's the thing with JavaScript. If there's something that can be written and it somebody will write it, somebody will create a framework. There's all there's whatever can be programmed in JavaScript will be programmed in JavaScript. Is the saying, right? Like,
oh man, this is getting difficult. All right, yeah, yeah. Um, So that's what I hate about JavaScript, man. See, you don't see this in other languages. They're like when you compile in other languages, it compiles down. The JavaScript is such a damn mess, and it's like, oh, like dude, I don't know what to do to just get this to work. And I kind of don't want to take out. All right, you know what? Since you know
might
Leaflet, right? Can let's just use Leaflet. Screw it, because all I want to do is just stand up on that. So because I don't want to play with this. I do have to like take this course before I lose my job, my main job. So let's integrate
wait,
both.
hold on, wait, what? What's going on? You have to
No,
take a
dude, it's
course
not
before you
working. The
you.
math box, dude. I've done everything with the math box.
No, but you just said you have to take a course before you lose your job or something like that.
Yeah, cause like the course is due tomorrow, and if I don't take it, right, I break regulations. So
Oh
I'm
well, why
like,
don't you work on that? You should be working on that.
no, it's fine. I have time. I'm almost done, but it's like I don't like this is what JavaScript make you lose your job.
No, but I'm saying I know I get it, but I'm saying like that's your
Nah,
livelihood. You should
I have
do
time.
that
I have
first.
time. No, I have time, but like I just want to have this figured out because this is like the last piece of the puzzle that I can log off for today. Yeah, so let's get Leaflet installed. Like let's set up Leaflet, right? So is it Leaflet? Isn't Leaflet based on Mapbox?
No, from my understanding, no, it's not. But I could be wrong. But I was not aware if it was. Um,
Oh, this is a very old looking map. Do they have something more modern looking?
uh, oops, here we go. Yeah, I mean, if you want something, yeah, that's how their maps look.
the map looks ugly.
Yeah, I mean that's how the map looks.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's not gonna be good for like blockchain is all about the modern stuff, right? So there's Google Maps, but man, right? I mean, but I'm looking here, right? I'm thinking, okay, if I just replace the street map, yeah, no, yeah, no. All right, yeah, all right. So what do you think this is, transpiling? What do you think this is? Because
Well,
this is
here,
one.
yeah, let me see it again because I've been kind of looking at other stuff. Let me see.
All right, here, yeah, here you go. I know there's a lot of help in the React community. Like I need to start joining those React communities in Facebook and just because I know like unlike Angular, once I help say hey I need help in React, I'm getting my answer. Can you ask Chat GPT?
That's actually interesting. Do you have access to Chat GPT, right?
No, I don't.
You don't. Oh, you haven't used it.
Yeah, yeah.
You could just, if you want to, you could just literally create an account and start using it now. But let's see here. Yeah, all you gotta do is if you're trying to do it now, you can just type Chat GPT, and then you would just go there and sign up. Yep, you'll be good to go. I will not look at your stuff here. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to. I'm just gonna move on. I don't know why. All right.
Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, screw it. I'm gonna install React Snap.gl. Oh, this is not quite right. Oh, maybe it is quite right. Yeah. All right. Let's see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Yeah, this looks outdated. They don't use map.
Well, it's only trained on all the information up to 2021.
Yeah.
So you got to keep that in mind.
Let's see if this example is outdated. You sure? Okay, now it's being more comprehensive. Yeah, it's be very, very comprehensive. Yeah. Wow, it's wild, man. It's wild, but it's like meh, right? You know. Yeah, it's meh. It, Alright, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. It's not gonna replace you anytime soon, but it can be very helpful.
Yeah, it should just give you the answer. Like I don't know, it's typing it out for me.
It often goes through like a very verbose explanation of like what it's doing for, and then it'll give you an example.
Alright, yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to try it because I don't know.
So it looks like there's an npm package, and then you would just import it into the component in this way.
Yo, look what they said, map.gl. Before it said map, now it's like map.gl. It's like, oh, what is it? Import map.gl from the yeah. It's like all over the place with it.
Well, you did ask it a different question. You kind of just typed map.gl for React. I think the last time you asked a different question, so it'll give you a different answer.
Make sure you install the required dependencies. React DOM. Alright. Well, I know I'm using we could check, but I know I'm using React version 19. Oh, version 18.
But I think because yours is okay, map.
Yeah, it's saying Webpack or Rollup. Make sure you have the necessary loaders and plugins configured to transpile your code. Okay, so let's do one thing. Reinstall run task, reinstall npm package, and then s, and then I want to update my task -d to use s. Okay. Alright, so basically, alright, so it must know how to configure Webpack. How to configure Babel loader using Kraka. Alright. So I know that. Alright, so give me an example. Alright, well, I mean, it's comprehensive. Oh, I'm kind of worried. Okay, it's kind of making sense, because I know it's not Crackle less. So it says rules exclude. Okay, so there's that use property that we saw earlier.
It looks like you can do that in a JavaScript file. Which
that's the Crackle.
Yeah, maybe you can do that in that Craco.js file.
Yeah, copy and paste, right?
Yeah, paste it in there, see what happens.
Well, so basically what it's saying is like, okay, so see the package. It's the Babel, map.gl, Craco, rules.push. Okay, so it's basically saying, okay, so that's the file I need to use. So test is JSX. So it's probably going to be TS, and I'm not really too good. Like, regex is a thing that you learn and you drop. Like, one day you're amazing at it, but you just don't practice it, and then you drop it. So it's like,
yeah, regex is one of those unappreciated but very needed skills when you really need it. Let's see.
Alright, so exclude, then I'm gonna go to the documentation here, right? So then it's the use. Yeah, they don't tell you, like, these guys assume that you like, I know Webpack, like, you know, but sometimes I don't know Webpack. Wait, why do I want to exclude no module? Is this a string? Oh, okay, it's a okay. Alright, I think that's figured out. Failed to parse sort. Alright, just restart. Alright. You're running it, try to work on it. Craco. PM run start. So let's try to see if it figures it out this time. Hopefully it does. It kind of made sense, right? The like rules. It's kind of interesting. Let me see the Webpack documentation. Try to see. You know, see, the thing is, like, you know, it's important to take courses, right? It's important to take a course.
If you want to take a Webpack course, you can take the one that they got in front end masters. That'll be
but the thing is, like, you don't want to take a course. You're just working on something that's code, that's software development. You know?
Yeah, no.
Like, something could get so ridiculously hard.
No, I get it. You're doing more of like just in time learning, more like a just in time learning.
Yeah.
The thing. I'm just saying, if you did want to take a comprehensive course, you could look at the Webpack course in front end masters. That's a really good one.
Presets my custom Babel preset. Oh, come on now. So, wait, the documentation's not telling me what preset to use. Damn it. I'm looking at this to say my custom Babel preset, and I'm like, damn it, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta
Wanna go
ask.
back to it? What it go back to it? Maybe you use that.
Yeah, it says my custom Babel, but then then like Chat GPT's like, no, this is the one you use. It's
Yeah,
like,
try it.
yeah, it's like, but that's just documentation. Like you're paid to make the product, not
A
for
lot of
use.
people, a lot of people make bad documentation when they create these packages,
Yeah,
especially when they create them for free. Like, there's
yeah,
not a lot of incentive to keep updating it when you're not getting paid for it.
yeah. But I think we need software. I think that's where Chat GPT could really come in. Yeah, that's a project idea, right? To look at your code and make documentation out of it, right? That'll be dope.
Oh yeah, you're talking about like automated documentation or something. So what you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be pretty cool. I agree.
Fail to
Syntax
file.
error.
All right. Yeah. So I gotta know what pack's using. I gotta know what pack's using. Maybe because
Index number.
does it know? Does it go off based of what you previously said?
Yeah, it does. You
Can
could just talk to it. It'll talk to you like a person.
error occurred? That's a first.
Yeah, that's because it's just getting a lot of requests. You're gonna probably have to regenerate. You're gonna have to do a new chat, unfortunately.
Script React.
Let's see.
All right. So while that loads, all right. So let's try C now. All right. So it's like still deploying. What? Yeah, I know you can't. I think there's like I think it just didn't build right. Yeah, like sometimes with this Firebase deploy, it maybe takes its time before it loads. That's what kind of sucks. Yeah, yeah. Now it's like maybe it needs that preset. So now I need to actually find where Webpack config is in React.
You're looking for the Webpack config file.
Yeah, that React uses. Where is it? I'm. There you go. All right, so these are the presets. Okay, so they have their own Crackle Babel loader. But nah, screw that. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna have to ask it. Where is the Webpack dot config dot ts file for React?
You should be able to get there by just going to my project here, and then I mean, it should be at the root of your directory.
It's not.
Hmm.
It's not. It's like somewhere in no modules, man. It's silly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, normally it's supposed to be in the root, but or at least that's the way that I'm used to working with it.
It's like that's in Next.
No, React as well. Whenever we're doing any
It's typically
configuration.
located there.
Yeah, it's typically located in the root.
Well,
Yeah.
keep going, keep going. Oh, so that's working. Something's wrong. Something's hardly wrong. React is not defined. App.js, right? Alright, so I'm using TypeScript. Yeah, yeah, I do. I don't know, cause like the actual Webpack, like nowadays, it's like it's so interesting. It's like I have to import React right from the React in TypeScript. At landing, so everywhere it's weird. Everywhere, like with this TypeScript thing, I have to like import React. It's so stupid. I don't know why I can't figure it out, but
Yeah, it's one of those things with TypeScript that you have to do.
alright. So slowly starting to figure itself out. Okay, so
There
that's
you
that.
go.
Yeah, let's not. Okay, so now I have to rebuild this thing.
See, I told you, ChatGPT is a good supplement.
Yeah, my problem's still not solved though. I keep getting when can you list?
But wait, you said that you're using React and Next, right?
No,
No, I thought that's what you said earlier.
no, I said the team can't decide on what they want to use.
Oh, I thought you said that you guys were like using React and then Next in some parts of the application. I was like, I don't know how that's possible. What am I doing? But
Mapbox GL draw. React Mapbox GL is frequently updated. Uh, code examples. Yes, and I think what's terrible about it is that I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the screen for this optimized production build. This is like the worst type of thing. Yeah, it should. But I mean, they're about performance, but like yeah.
did you try? Is this the first time that you've done a build to production?
Yeah, no. first time I did it with Mapbox.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, is it just the first time you've done it with Matbox, right?
Yeah.
All right, so uh, let's see. What's the error that you're getting when you're building? Like, what's that specific error that you're getting?
Transpilation. It's complaining about transpilation, right? So
Just right, but what's that specific error?
yeah, yeah. If I could gain access to it, I'm trying to deploy over to production now. Yeah, here. Yeah, you can see it on your end if you go to the URL. So like, tell like, where do you work?
I work at excuse me. I work at I don't know if you ever heard of Northwestern Mutual.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
work
heard of
there.
it. Yeah, financial. What technologies they got you working on?
I primarily work with React, Vue, and Go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Go's becoming a thing. Like I know you said this earlier, but I think Go's becoming a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a really cool language. I like it a lot. I was thinking about building an API for one of these for a platform I'm going to be creating next year in Node, but I think I'm going to use Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause notice you just saw the problem with Node, right? Babel, babble, compile, babble. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. You just saw what happened, right? I don't think you want that. Like, this is the problem I know it's going to happen with Node. Like, I know this is going to happen, right? We're just going to have incompatibilities. Does that happen in Go? Where it's like you're spending all your time dealing with package resolution.
No, Gold is Golang is more frustrating on the configuration side, like the initial configuration. But
Hmm.
aside from that, it's a really good language. Like it's smooth sailing.
Yeah, I wanted to try to replace Python with Go and then just use Python strictly for machine learning because Python is not concurrent. I mean, I want to learn Django. I mean, I just realized today that Flask is not to be used in production. I did not see that side note at all. So I'm like, what's the purpose of Flask? I didn't even see that, and then I realized, oh, Flask is not to be used in production. I'm like, wow, that's wild. And it's because it's not concurrent at all. I'm wondering if Django's concurrent. Do you know?
Say that again.
Do you know if Django is current? Have you heard about Django?
I've heard about Django, but I've never used it. I know it's like a framework to help build web apps in Python, correct?
Yeah, the Python enthusiasts, right? They don't use it to build the application. They just use it as an API.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people like Python professionally. I've mostly seen being used for like configuration, like network configuration, um, some small like ML projects, uh, stuff like that. Like I haven't seen it being used as a major backend for any like web application or anything like that. It's just
Yeah,
mostly used as like a utility. It's like a utility language for like I said, network configurations and like doing ML stuff.
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, okay, because no, I know about a Python backend developer, and that community exists,
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely.
It does. Like, I worked on a Python project, and it, like, maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe you could see it's not concurrent by default, but
Right. No.
right, but I just need to get on a Python project to have it change my mind, right? So I realize I'm not good enough with the back end. Like I was looking at a Python project. They use like this third party package to jumpstart their database and preload it instead of just like running it the database scripts directly and all this stuff that like the amount of configuration and then the networking and yeah, it was a lot. So it's like like I'm here, right? If you actually try to look, all right, let me try to. I wanna run. I just want to run these tasks and make sure they work. Deploy your front end preview. Let's try to see if everything's working here. Okay, so it's complaining. Okay, so it says it doesn't exist. Set. Yeah, we're gonna see it in a bit. Okay. Alright, now on a CD here. Wait, proof of vibes. Oh, that's why. Set. So it's proof dash of dash one. Task. Let's see how that works. Okay, so it's figuring it out. Right, I don't want it to. Yeah, so alright, while it bids, right? So this is basically my backend application. Right, a sample backend application. And you're gonna see how simple, and it probably is gonna look very simple to you. Right, and then you're like, let's see how simple it looks. Right, so this is it. Right, so this is my app. Right, my unit tests go here, resources go here, such as like a template. Like this is like an email template, and then I use like a third party called like Twilio SendGrid, right, to use this HTML email template, right, to send it to for email. But basically, this is my app. This is like my utilities file, and these are all my routes, and that's it. And that's it, right?
Okay.
But you're like, yo, backend applications are much bigger than that, right? They're much more structured, right? There's more.
I mean, not for what the size of what you guys are doing. No. I mean, but
Right.
if you go, of course, we've both worked in corporations, so yeah, they're going to be much larger in scale, right?
Yeah, yeah, but then to like address the problems, the everyday backend challenges, such as concurrency, right, such as speed and performance, right. Then they're all built out right with all these configurations and third party tools, right. So that we can get, and that's what I want to get to, because like when I choose a stack for when I choose the technology for the stack that I use, then I want to be able to make it work.
Right, but you want to be choosing technology specifically for your use case, right? So
Right.
I'm guessing you
No,
chose Python
no,
for a specific reason for this, right?
no. We're using
And
Node.js.
React for a
No,
specific
Python is just yeah. My coworker's going to add in Node.js. Right. Look, see, I'm not good enough to make Python concurrent.
Well, what I'm saying is, anytime before you develop, like before you start creating software, and when I start my YouTube channel, I'm going to talk about this. Before you start creating software, you should first figure out what that software is going to be doing. What is the purpose of the software? How is it going to be used and consumed by people? Who's the intended audience? Once you figure that out, you can start figuring out, okay, what what features and whatnot is going to be prominent in the software. Like, what's the functionality? Okay, so this is how the software should function. So this is the type of thing that I want to build. This is how it should function. What is the best technology that I can use to make this thing function? So like, you don't want to just slap React on everything, right? It's like, okay, well, I need this type of application, so or website or whatever you're going to be building. Should I use React for this, or should I use Vue? Or maybe you are an Angular guy. Maybe it's better to use Angular for this. I don't know. I've never used that, but the purpose is the same. What kind of backend should I use? What am I going to be doing? So, like for instance, I told you next year I'm going to be building a platform, and I was at first I was going to use Node to build out the API for it, but then I said I'm going to switch to Go. Why? Because one of the key factors considering when choosing between those two is performance and right, and I need it to be performant because it's going to be a fairly large API. So you need to like in all cases, I think when you're creating software or any sort of whether it be on a website, whether it be mobile or whatever, you need to like look at what kind of thing you're building, how it's going to function, and then extrapolate from that. Okay, this is the type of technologies that can best help me build this thing. Um, I think like because I know a lot of people that are like that they'll build like landing pages and then they'll just like, oh, just use React for it. It's like no, don't use React to build a landing page. Why? Don't use like you can just do that in regular HTML, CSS, JavaScript for a landing page. It's a landing page. Or you're gonna use you're gonna build a blog. You want to build a blog. Okay, well there are a few options. Well, what kind of blog are you going to build? Is it going to be mostly static? Just are people going to be able to log in and comment on it, or are they going to just be able to log in, or are they going to just go to it and just read articles? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to be able to like stuff? Are they going to be able to interact with it? Are they going to be able to delete posts? Are they going to be able to like what are people going to be able to do with this blog? That depending on that, I think determines what kind of blog you should build or what you should use to build it. Rather, my apologies. This website that you guys are building, I think, from what it sounds, you said this is a Web3 um, application, so I'm not sure what goes into making. I'm not sure how you deploy it to like Ethereum. So
No, it's not that scary. All a Web3 application is it makes it sound weirder than it is, but it's not. All a Web3 application is is just a Web2 is just a website that uses blockchain third parties. Okay, so it has just a blockchain. It's just using blockchain technology on it. That's it, right? So ethers.js, right, is a blockchain library. That's all that makes any website that's using blockchain libraries is Web3. That's as simple as it is. So you host it, right? So now there's smart contracts and wallets. Now wallets are something that you connect to an application, right? So let's try to take a look in this sample app. Right? So wallets 0 front end. All right, is it? Oh, it's not even running. Okay, so I gotta stand it up. All right. So we're gonna see in a bit. The wallets are just you connect to that. You connect it, and I want you to see this, right? So I also wanted to. Oh, let me just open up the ODX Studio. Let's see what's going on. Okay, yeah. So now it's figuring out my whole screen. Right, I need key bindings for that, so I don't have to like navigate over there. Yeah, so wallets, right? You just connect your application.
right.
Is running? Oh, okay, here's the VS Code. Okay, it's not run front end. And I think I need to run the back end. And that's it, right? But now smart contracts, right? So now we're think about smart contract as a supply chain. So basically, a package gets to a certain point in the supply chain, and then you make an API call, right, to the blockchain, to your smart contract in the blockchain, right? But you can't use it's not a REST API call, so you need a blockchain library to make that call to the block to your smart contract on the blockchain to make that update to say, okay, the package made it to the next point in its destination, and that's it. Yeah, so that's really all a Web3 app is. It's either interacts with a wallet, or it interacts with a smart contract, or it mints an NFT, right?
See, I like the smart contract concept because essentially, I like the concept of a self-executing contract, with terms of the whatever the agreement is being directly written into the code, right? So I like that aspect of smart contracts, but particularly with this whole process that you guys went through, like I said, you guys went through, knew what you needed to create, wanted to create, and then you picked the technologies that were suitable or that were best for your use case, right? So I think that's what you should be doing as a software engineer. I don't people shouldn't just, I don't know, I what I call them, what do you call them, these tribal this it's definitely this way in JavaScript community where you have these tribes of people that sort of war with each other about what framework is best and whatnot. I don't get into all that. I think that's foolishness. I think it's stupid. I don't care if you're an Angular or a Vue developer and you think React sucks. There are some use cases for React. There's some use cases for Vue. There's some use cases for Next. There's some use cases for Angular, right? There are pros and cons, trade-offs to everything.
Yeah, I'm kind of not like that, right? I'm tribal to, well, I'm tribal, I'm telling you, I won't look at Go, right? I'm using Python. Now I think I'm changing, because it's I just realized there's just some things you can't. Truly at my heart, I just wish I could do things with Python Flask and just never look back, right? uh, I think I'm getting uprooted because I'm realizing that a lot of things in production, I can't do with the current stack, like concurrency. I don't want to,
Right.
it's okay, I have to learn something else. I just might have to learn something else, and it's and then React was really interesting because what? Because I just hopped on and it was and I just ran with it. Why is he not figuring it out? After I run. Very true. Oh. Did I do something wrong? But I mean, I was like that, but it's now I think I'm transitioning over to your type of mentality. Because I just find myself changing software up so much. Ultimately I want a template project, right? But I'm definitely finding myself changing up to the point where it's oh wow.
You want to be tech agnostic, if that.
No, I want to be tech gnostic, but I'm realizing that I can't. I think I'm it's I'm giving up on that dream.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You want to be tech agnostic because you don't want to be bound to a siloed version or some sort of you don't want, well, you do. I see what you're saying, you do, but you don't. That's why I was saying, realistically, practically in our marketplace, you don't. It's
right,
not.
But in my world, I do. Right, only in my world, yeah.
Yeah, but in our career field, it's not good to be niched down so much into just this one thing or two things.
Wait, is he figuring out the route to the net?
And I would say, well, you can do that, but Only
Yeah, yeah.
in some cases, like the marketplace right now, people want you to know a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, no, I 1000% agree.
yeah,
No,
so like,
it's
but it's interesting because, like I said, I was gonna learn Python, but then I ended up learning Node instead because I'm like, well, I just stay in the JavaScript ecosystem. But then I ended up getting on this job, and then now I'm doing Go, and I'm like, oh, I should use Go to do this thing that I'm trying to do.
oh, cause it's like global. Yeah, so it's not. Oh, yeah, no. Okay, so I think it's just using localhost now. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I definitely wanted to learn. I just want to find the. I just believe in the holy grail. That's it for me. I just believe like, okay, this is the stack that's gonna do it all. But like, cause I just don't want to be in a situation where I have to learn, right? Learn everything again.
I hear you, but that's just what. So like one of the things that I'm gonna release, one of the projects I'm gonna release next year, I'm gonna have to use. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to use Next.js for the actual user interface. But the actual like service itself is going to use web components. So
Okay.
you know, and there's a specific reason for that. So uh, yeah, man, like it just depends on what the use case is.
Where's this thing called? Oh, fork join. Yeah. Yeah. See, but I don't want to do that learning. See, I like to learn, but not to that extent where I like you know what I'm saying. I like to forward progress. Like I don't want to that. See, I want to like get because I do feel that even though it's difficult, I want to find myself in like places where I learn what's difficult in the in the holy in what I'm using right that day. Then um then to off token you provided was invalid. All right, that's interesting. Oh, okay. This is probably Morales, and I probably yeah. I shouldn't need that to. All right, that's it's whatever. Yeah, but all right. So, but basically, yeah, I just feel that if you have a template project that could do everything, right? All the examples are there, right? I just feel that that's the goal because then you won't have to like decide. It will take away that decision, right? If you have one piece of technology if you have a Flask application that has all the examples for you that you'll ever make in a project, right? And that's like the goal I want to strive towards. Then it's like, oh, it's easier to do it in this technology. It's easier to do it in that. I want to be able with one technology be able to do it all, and then like, and it, you know, and then it's like, and then be like, okay,
Yeah,
this
by the
is
time we get there, you
yeah,
won't be the one making it.
yeah,
It probably will be AI doing
yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
it. So,
So
there's never like as long as we are employed, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to like learn new technology and adapt in that way.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. It sucks. It's unfortunate. That's what I don't like about the yeah, but yeah, that's why I realized I just may. So, all right, very well. Well, but or just keep finding opportunities where I get to use my stack. But it's more like, but obviously that's not happening for me. Like I was an Angular guy until I got hooked onto React. So now we're gonna use Node and NoSQL. So it's like a so it's interesting how it all comes together. But I definitely the way I try to take, I just try to psych myself in my mind, like okay, just think of it like this, think of it like that, and so on. So
I hear you. I hear you.
All right. Well,
All
I
right,
think.
man. Well, I gotta head up out of here. I gotta do some more work, and well, I have been kind of working while we've been talking, to be honest. But I got some other stuff I gotta take care of. It was cool talking to you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So